And I know you're really going to enjoy this project because it means getting out and investigating the history of Circe Island. So, have you worked out how each group is going to approach the task?
Amy and I are going over to the mainland to see Danny. He's an expert on Aboriginal history of the island.
Fantastic. Guido, Billy and Kelvin.
Don't worry about us, miss. We've got plans.
Yeah, big plans.
What plans?
Big ones. We'll be right, miss. Don't want anyone stealing our idea, you know.
All right. But remember, all of our results go to the State Museum's Community History Project. Now, you've all got to report back by the end of the week, okay?
Yeah, let's go!
Take a look in the cellar under the back room. There's a lot of old stuff there when I moved in. Help yourself.
Thanks, Jay. We won't be long.
Bet we can find something really interesting down there.
Rattlesnake's in his boat. He's just past the causeway.
And is he acting suspiciously?
He's heading for the mainland.
Right. Cobra 1, heading your way. Over.
Now, you look after those letters and things. I've had them for many years.
We will.
Achoo! No, I'm done. Thank you.
What do you reckon's in that?
Only one way to find out.
Sorry.
Base security. Wherever you are, freeze!
Quick, let me do the talking.
There you are. I heard that scream. What's up?
Arachnophobia.
Arachnos who?
Geraldine hates spiders and a big one just left.
Spiders. Oh. What are you doing down here?
We're collecting stuff for a school project for Miss Selby.
Oh, Miss Selby. Carry on then. Watch out for the spiders. Cobra 1.
Yes, Chief.
They tried the old spider trick, but I'm onto that.
So you get the idea? We keep him talking into this for long enough, and we can take it easy for the rest of the week.
We like it.
And that was the storm that nearly wrecked all the shacks. You never saw anything like it. What a blow. It was real scary. Is this what you want?
Top stuff, Gramps. Hey, fellas. Great. Amazing. Now tell us the one about the smugglers in 1954. That'll really help us.
Oh, the smugglers. Right, if you're doing an oral history project, now that's a story.
Right on, Gramps. Tell us more.
It's not a chimp or anything. It's definitely human.
What are we going to do with it all?
Don't know. Might have been a mysterious death of some kind, or even a murder.
Freaky. We should give it to Ralph's dad or someone.
Not until I've had a good look at it. I wonder who it is. This is worth solving.
If there's any solving to do, that's my department. Give it to me.
Be my guest.
A skull.
You want all this too?
A whole skeleton. This is a job for base security. Excuse me, sir. Foul play. And on our island.
Where did this come from?
The remains are so far unidentified. I suspect homicide.
I've never heard of any mysterious deaths, let alone murders on the island.
We don't know much about Jake Lennon, though, do we?
A case full of bones lying around hardly sounds like foul play. Now, I've spoken to the police. This matter must be handled through the proper channels.
And they want me to arrest the perpetrators?
Absolutely not, Hermes. I want everybody calm about this. I don't want a wave of reporters descending on the island. I rely on you to keep it under your hat.
Yes, sir. Under your hat. It's all very well, Susan. But I am the head of security. And if this isn't a security matter, I don't know what is.
You're just not appreciated enough, are you?
I'm glad someone else can see that. Up, up, up!
I reckon that's safe enough.
Leave it with me.
Thanks for your help, Hermes.
A real skeleton. Wow. Know whose it is?
Don't know much at all.
Not yet.
Why don't you just give the bones up? If Jake's in trouble, we'll get in trouble.
Look, if we solve the mystery of who it is and how it got here, no one will get into trouble, will they?
I suppose.
But what about how they died? It could have been hanging.
Or stabbing. Or poisoning. Or maybe it might have even been the mob. Wow, right here on Cersei Island.
Cool.
You two are sick.
Oh, lighten up. You're always wanting something interesting to happen.
All I know is that Jake couldn't be involved in this.
How come?
This skeleton's real old. 50 years, maybe more. All we need is more clues. Maybe I'll take a look at that book that was with the bones.
Maybe next year, if they increase our budget.
Lou, what are you up to?
Hi, just looking at the bones. As I found them, I figured they're sort of mine, aren't they?
Lou, I realise you found them, but we're not playing finders keepers. They could be evidence. Leave them alone, okay?
Okay.
Is this really necessary?
Throwing the question back at me. Well, it won't work, Lennon.
Skeletons? Murderers? Hermes, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I won't take no for an answer. Or even yes, if it's a wrong answer. Got me?
I don't know anything.
What about the book? It was in the suitcase. Can you explain that?
No, I can't. I can't even read it. It's all Greek to me.
Greek? Yes. You're right. Finally, some real information. I knew you'd crack. I always do. No, Dimitri, no! Cousin Dimitri, I don't want a transistor. I want a translation! My Greek's getting a bit rusty. And I've got this book here. And I need to know what it says. That's fantastic! What? Yes, I might buy a transistor radio.
The book wasn't there, so we'll have to make do with this.
Then let me see.
Hey, don't touch. This is our project. You stick with your letters to Miss Hurley.
Excuse me for breathing.
We still have to complete our assignment. Let's divide these into two.
Hermes? A phone message from, Dimitri?
My cousin. Dimitri's electrical... on the mainland. What?
He said that old book contained Greek poems. Most of them were about goddesses. Oh, like Circe, the one the island's named after.
Yes, yes.
Oh, and they were written by a man called Theo something. And they were dedicated to a woman named Helen.
Theo! Theo! That was my uncle's first name, and Helen... Helen was my mother. Yes, that's it. It's got to be.
Got to be what?
Susan! My Uncle Theo ran away from home 30 years ago. And my mother's never really gotten over it. They were twins, you see. And they were very close. She said Uncle Theo used to write poems. Lots and lots of poems, ever since he was a small child.
Now you sit down, I'll make you a nice cup of tea.
Mother always said you took after Uncle Theo. That's why you have poetry in your heart and romance in your soul. Andrea!
Look, here. There are some small holes drilled in each end and some faint red marks.
So what does it mean?
Someone's been messing around with it, I guess. It needs more investigation.
Don't tell them. It's our project.
But it might be relevant.
What might be?
Don't tell them.
All right then, you've made your point.
It's a letter to Miss Hurley from one of the other residents. It mentions a guy, a doctor, who died suddenly on the island 50 years ago.
So what do you reckon?
Maybe we should talk again to the people we got the letters and the photos from.
Yeah, they could know something about this doctor.
Hey, look.
And you fill up my eyes like deep, deep wells. What's going on? Miss Selby. Miss Selby, your name rings like bells.
Charming. Very charming.
You see, Andrea, the bones, the poetry books, they're a sign. I have to leave my life of security and pursue my true destiny. To be a poet, like Uncle Theo.
Oh, if I was you, I wouldn't give up my day job, Mr. Andakis.
I see. Mock me. Will poets desire solitude more than anything else? I shall leave you and move to a higher plane. I was a fool to have ever loved you. Farewell. I turn my back on the world.
Where, when we need him, is Hermes?
He hasn't turned up for work today.
That's all I need. Got your message, Mr. Knowles. What's up? It's young Lou, I'm afraid. Where's the suitcase and the bones? They disappeared overnight from the storeroom.
I haven't got them.
Lou, enough. Just give it back and we won't say any more.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't take anything. Honest.
Lou, if that skeleton isn't returned straight away, well then, I'll just have to assume you don't fit in here at the base. And that would put your father in a very awkward position.
Dad never believes me. So what am I going to do?
Let's keep our heads. The most important thing is to find the bones.
Where do we look?
They could be anywhere.
Maybe stupid Hermes has got them.
Why would he?
Mum was telling Dad last night that the poetry in the book is all in Greek, and Hermes went right off his head and said his uncle wrote them.
That must have been what he was carrying on about with Miss Selby.
You mean Hermes thinks the skeleton is his Uncle Theo? Wild.
Come on, let's go and try find him.
Now you can rest in peace. May the sun shine on you by day and the moon by night.
Nothing.
Me either. And it'll be getting dark soon.
I looked in the caravan.
Okay, let's go.
Hey everyone, look! This way!
What is it?
Just wait till you see this. You won't believe it.
Circe, Circe, sweet goddess of mystery. Circe, Circe, what can be your history? It is but a day, you and me, when the sweet dawn has kissed the sea. Whatever will be, will be. Children of the fabled isle, come,
Gather round the fruit bowl of life. We shall tell stories.
Hi, Hermes. Read any good bones lately?
Ah, that would be telling.
Look, we're in a bit of trouble back at the base. We need to find the suitcase and the bones.
Troubles? I have no troubles anymore.
Actually, we're the ones who are in trouble, Mr. Andakis.
We really need to get those bones back.
The bones are in the care of the sun and the moon. No one shall ever know where they are. I am a poet. It is my sacred duty to protect them. If all that you are interested in is the bones, be gone. I cannot help you.
What was that for?
There's an emergency.
What?
At the cave, an emergency meeting. Come on.
Come on, guys, let's go.
What if we follow Hermes around?
What if he doesn't go anywhere?
We can call the police.
We could keep watch all day and night.
No way, not at night. Not before dinner. Hey, cool it. Look, this is no big deal. We know who did this. Hermes Andakis. He hid the bones, didn't he? So let's dob him in.
We haven't got any proof yet, only suspicions.
Dad'll never listen unless we've got hard evidence.
I've got it. I've worked it out.
What?
I've worked out what the holes in the red marks are. They're rust marks. The holes are drilled so the skeleton could be held together with wire. It's a medical skeleton.
That letter about the doctor, where'd we get it from?
Miss Hurley.
If we can convince Hermes the skeleton isn't his uncle...
Then he'll confess that he's got the bones and give them back.
I'd forgotten all about him. The doctor mentioned in the letter was old Dr. Price. He retired here and owned the cottage before Mr. Lonergan.
So how did he die, Miss Hurley?
Oh, he simply died very suddenly one day. Heart attack. Nothing very mysterious at all.
So the medical skeleton belonged to him too. Solves that.
But what about the book? The poetry book in the suitcase?
Oh, that's easily explained. Dr. Price was a very keen poet. He wrote under the name of Theo. Theo something.
Theo. Hermes.
I don't believe it. I want to be a poet. I like being a poet.
We talked to Miss Hurley. Theo wasn't your Uncle Theo. It was Dr. Price writing under a different name.
He was an expert on the Greek language.
And the skeleton was his too.
You have got the bones, haven't you, Mr. Andakis?
No, I haven't. Anyway, even if I did, well, I couldn't disturb them now. Go away! Go away!
Mr. Andakis, if the police find you, you could lose your job. And you'll never see Miss Selby again.
Look, see, Andrea. All right. I confess. I confess. It was all my fault. When I thought it was my Uncle Theo, I snuck into the storeroom and stole the suitcase. What do I do?
Take us to the bones.
Ralph, you don't realize. I've resigned my job. If Andrea finds out, she'll think I'm a complete idiot. What do I do?
Hermes, if you give us the bones, we'll tell you how to fix it with Mr. Knowles.
Yeah, and I'll help you square things up with Miss Selby.
You'll promise me? You're a boy of your word, Ralph.
I promise. The bones?
Bones. Yes. All right.
Got it. The full confession.
You'll understand, sir, it was a matter of maintaining top security. I thought it best the bones were kept in my custody.
Yes, of course, Hermes. What else could you do?
In fact, acting on my own initiative, I took the bones to the State Museum and obtained this certificate, which proves it's an absolutely genuine medical skeleton. Nothing suspicious at all.
Well, I'm sure it's all been a mistake. My apologies, Lou. I accept that none of you were involved.
That's the way I see it too, sir.
Well, let's all get back to work, shall we?
See, Dad?
And if I ever had you in a spell, I can only say now that I wish you well. Andrea, I just want you to know that I'm completely normal. Again. Am I forgiven?
Yes, of course, I forgive you, Mr. Andakis.
Oh, Andrea, I can live again!
I thought the poem was pretty soppy, actually.
Did you really write that junk?
It worked, didn't it?
What?
And then we dug up the bones.
It was great, like a zombie movie.
And then we took them back to Mr. Knowles and got Hermes off the hook. So, he owes us one.
Well, maybe I owe you guys one. You see, he stopped suspecting me. I'll see you all later.
Bye.
See you, Jake.
I
can't believe Hermes would stay off our backs for more than a day or two.
Don't worry, he will. Our insurance policy. What I've got here will keep Hermes off our backs forever.
I confess, it was all my fault.
Yeah, Cyclone Dolores, it was called 1957. I can tell you some horrible things that'd make your toes curl.
Yes, fascinating, yes. Do you know where the kids are? Those nice, wonderful kids.
Somewhere over there. Look, drop back sometime. I must tell you the whole story.
Yes, you must, yes. Fascinating, bye.
Rewind it, I want to hear it again.
I confess, it was all my fault. I thought it was my Uncle Theo. I snuck into the storeroom and stole a suitcase.
We have got Hermes under our thumbs forever.
You! You little worms! Give me that tape! Give me that tape till I clap you! Give me the tape! Got it! You little greaseballs. You haven't heard the last of this. I won't forget. Live in fear!
Good one, just when we had him.
So much for your insurance policy.
Now Hermes will be worse than ever.
Oh, yeah? We'll just get Ralphie to write some more poetry for him. Hey, wasn't that bad.